the bottom. It's so small. I got big letters. Should I pull up Brian Flores?
Listen. Let's not. How about we don't? I don't want us to do that, okay? Because this is not being done intentionally by Austin. Okay, so we're not gonna do that. Okay, Austin is a man of the people. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, we're not gonna do that. You know, Austin is loved. Austin is appreciated. So yeah, thanks, but no thanks, Josh. Okay,
Darn it.
yeah, he's an accomplice. He's an accomplice of ours. All right, everybody, we are live. If you're tuning in, welcome back. If you're going to be here in a second, then we look forward to seeing you. That's kind of preemptive, but we'll take it for what it is. Okay? Okay. All right. And
Okay.
okay. All right. And they actually made it like really hard for me to kind of share this stuff. I got to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. And by the way, I know Austin, you've definitely been inquiring. We so Matt's gonna go back over with me because I think I might be doing something wrong when I'm trying to post the episodes. So yeah. So as soon as I know, then you'll know. Then as soon as you know, then you can go from there. Hmm. All right. I posted it to my page, so it's public now. So you can actually just go ahead and share that since
Okay.
it's gonna be super public. Hmm. You don't need a phone, boy. You got an iPad. You don't even need an iPad. Here, can you have that? Okay. I love you. All right. Josh, did you put in the other group?
Which one?
All of,
All of them.
all of.
All right. Let me see.
Hmm?
Wait. Get in here. All right. Yep. It's in there.
Okay, cool. All right, and so with that being said, for everybody who's already in here, everybody who's watching in other places, welcome. Quick intro, quick things that we're gonna do, and then we will be getting started. So thank you for tuning in once again. We truly do appreciate you. And All right. And we will be right. Where you at, though? All right. And we'll be right back.
I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush cause I'm top shelf, I ain't got well.
All right, people, and welcome. Welcome back. Welcome back to a post Super Bowl episode of the You Don't Know Jack podcast, where we'll be highlighting everything, well, football related in this case, because Colts won in the Super Bowl. Go figure.
Unfortunately.
But unfortunately, will it happen? Yeah. This year, not so much. But either way, not harping on the bad news. But the good news is, back again with these esteemed fellas. Wait, what is that?
A number 2 jersey
You know what? We'll
in
get to that.
support of
In support of Carson.
Carson Wentz.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Daly. You're like, what does he have to do with the Colts?
None at all.
No, no. But in the meantime, um, so that we can get started, we're gonna introduce the guys. Okay. So with us, the man who has on the Carson Wentz jersey, we have with us Josh Senior. Everybody,
What's going on, man? And Carson, I trust. I ain't gonna say we, but I trust.
I'm glad you said I. I have my thoughts, but we're gonna save them. I always say that these episodes aren't going to be too long. Like, oh, this is going to be a shorter one. No, no. After you make that statement, I have a feeling it's going to be a minute. All right. We also have with us Mr. Silent Assassin himself, Mr. Punchline one-liners for days, Mr. Austin Cook. Everybody,
Yeah, what's up? I'm Austin.
yes, you are. You are Austin. Okay. All right. You rep that. And last but not least, we have myself, Chris Jackson. Everybody, thank you for tuning in again. We do appreciate you for being here. You could be anywhere in the world. You know, if you're single, you could be, trying to get some after Valentine's Day action. I don't know. You know, if you're involved with somebody, you could be celebrating February 15th. Not that I endorse that. I'm happily married to the family. Love you guys. Appreciate you. But yeah, but you know what? You're here, and we appreciate you. And even more so, I want to say, and I want to get this out the way now. Um, so without the AFC South Fan Battle podcast, there would be no us. So we definitely do want to thank you guys. But I want to
Shout out.
actually send a shout out. I want to send a shout out to somebody. I want to shout out RJ Ellison from the AFC South Fan Battle page. And I want to shout him out because he trolls a lot. But he's one of the few Titans fans that we've had on the podcast that was brave enough to come on and get the verbal lambasting that he deserved.
Yes.
And you know what? It's normally I'm just like, well, you know what? Whatever. I didn't pull any punches, but you know what? He actually he hung in there. He was good about it. He made sure that he stuck in there. He laughed about it. So I want to say, RJ, salute. You're a stand-up guy for going in there and taking those punches that you so rightfully deserved.
Yeah, definitely deserve.
Yeah, exactly. So, so then moving on now. Of course, you can see people the episode. The name of the episode is "And What Did We Learn?" Because the Los Angeles Rams are now Super Bowl champions.
Yep.
The team that hasn't drafted in the first round in God knows how many years. The team that traded even more first round draft picks to get Matt Stafford. I think they don't have a first round draft pick until 2024 now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, and I mean they traded that draft capital. They got rid of Goff. They traded for Matt Stafford. Um, they picked up Odell. They picked up Von Miller. I mean they they went all in and it
They
worked.
they call Eric Weddle out of retirement.
Out of retirement, out of retirement,
Yeah, so
and
yeah,
you know what? It's absolutely mind-boggling because it's just like you see the Rams going all in that way, and it's just like, damn, that really worked. But
mm,
before we get into that, I want to say this was probably a great Super Bowl just for the simple fact that it was extremely unpredictable.
definitely.
I mean, Odell went out, and then we saw Matt Stafford. They started to kind of stifle them a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, and then we saw the Rams just started to come on. But a lot of what we saw throughout like the conference championships, with Joe Burrow, a lot of what we saw with Stafford. I mean, it really came to a head in this game. But we'll start off, Austin, just like what what I'm gonna say was the biggest takeaway from what you saw that really just changed the momentum of the game, because the Rams for a while looked like they weren't really going to be able to put up much of a fight, surprisingly.
Yeah. Well, like in the first three quarters, they couldn't get to Joe Burrow, which is not a normal thing to say, considering he's sacked the most out of any quarterback this season.
Right.
Yeah,
But then after like almost the whole third quarter and then the whole fourth quarter, they started sacking him, and the sacks kept on coming. Uh, just getting to the quarterback, I think that really changed the game for them. It really affected the Bengals' offense, and they couldn't get anything going to close out the game.
yeah, yeah. And I think we saw what happens, when you're not able to really just get the protection that you're looking for. I mean, if you're going against Aaron Donald, that's tough. But guys like Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson, they were making a lot of big plays for Cincinnati. But Josh, what was the biggest momentum shift that you saw in that game? Because I mean, it was it was a game of up and down. It was a roller coaster for the most part. But what was the biggest shift that you could say happened that had the Rams really just take it away?
I didn't see that until fourth quarter, and that was the last drive. That 15-16 play drive at the end to take a 3-point lead. It was you couldn't, like I said, it was unpredictable. You couldn't say, okay, this team was more favored to win, because like I said, after that 7-0, then they went scored again and missed a field goal. It was the Rams, the Bengals got back in the game, and at that point it was like, okay, trading who's going to punt the ball the most, because they both was punting, up until the T Higgins big touchdown, which was, could have, it was a offense pass interference, but somehow the referees missed it.
Yeah,
Um, but after that, it was just pretty much like, okay, well, what's going to happen? It's like they traded injuries. Sam Bradford, not Sam Bradford, Matthew Stafford, he went down. He's like, okay, this is over. And then Burr will go down. It's like, okay, well, now we know it's over now. But both quarterbacks got back up and overcame those, minor injuries and finished the game. But like I said, the momentum didn't shift until the end of the game, the fourth quarter, where they
yeah,
took that long 15-play drive to score a touchdown, to be up three. And of
yeah,
course, the sack to end the game.
yeah. And we said early on the Bengals. I mean, Joe Burrow to me is going to be extremely dangerous if they ever get him any type of protection, because you see the type of plays that he's able to make when you have him in a spot where it's just like he's getting chased down. He has the
Every time.
poise. He's in control. Like there's no panic. And I mean, the only thing that happens is that you actually get to him, and he's not shaken. There's no all of a sudden there's no panic. There's nothing in his face
Yeah.
that's telling you that he's worried. But the
Even
problem,
even being sacked 7 times, he wasn't rattled.
He wasn't. And I mean, he played all the way down to the end, but the issue that he had early on was the issue that, really got them. And it was the fact that they just could not protect him.
I do feel like this game would have been a lot different had the Rams had a run game,
Yeah.
because after Odell went down, it was like stagnant. I mean, of course, they couldn't get Cooper Cup to be open. The tight end went down. They went to their second tight end. Other receivers had the number 88. I don't know his name, but he had to step up on the other side to get more looks for Cup. So it was a struggle there.
Yeah.
They had a run game, and I know they got Sonny Michael, and I know they got Cam Akers, but and Henderson, but they didn't look good.
Okay.
Those three guys did not look good. I mean, I credit to the Bengals for stopping them, but they need another running game. The Rams, they would be a lot different had the Rams had a running game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this is also just a very this. Let's just be honest. This is a very pass happy team. I mean, the Rams haven't necessarily like Cam Akers is good, but I mean, he's coming off an Achilles injury in the same season that he got hurt.
Right.
So it's just like there's going to be a little bit of slowdown, at least in my opinion. But then the other thing that we're looking at is the fact that you have two guys there. Sony Michel is no slouch in the run game. It's just that this team is just very much so, just much more pass happy than what we've seen previously.
Right.
So, I mean, you can do that with a guy like Matt Stafford because Matt Stafford can throw the ball. I mean, we saw it was on full display that Matt Stafford is actually a really good quarterback. Now, the question is, and this is something that I didn't include, but this is something that we can talk about. We'll talk about it later, though, with Matt Stafford, people saying that he's now a Hall of Famer. But we'll talk. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I don't even have that here on this panel of things. But you know what? We're going to talk about that too. But yeah. But so I want to go ahead and just touch on this, and you two can take whichever one you want. What was the Rams' formula to success in the offense, and then what was the formula to success in the defense? And either one you can take. I think Austin, you can take whichever one you choose.
Well, I mean, Cooper Cup had to step up. Odell, like the receivers, Odell and Cooper Cup both had good games. Like Odell had a great first half. Well, he was until he went down. And then Cooper Cup obviously had a good game with 2 touchdowns, and I forget how many yards he had. But I think just they didn't have a run game, so they had to lean on their pass game, and they stepped up, and that's why Cup was the MVP.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then, Josh, what was I'm going to say the Rams' key to success on defense.
You said their success?
Yeah.
A pass rush. Like we mentioned, them having Leonard Floyd, them having Von Miller, them having AD at the front, causing havoc. Even if it wasn't a sack, they was getting the pressure, getting the hits. Causing Burrow to get out of the pocket, throw passes that he normally makes, make him uncomfortable, throwing passes that he don't make. He overthrew Chase, overthrew Higgins, overthrew the tight end. He was like, okay, even though he wasn't rattled, but he know they're coming. They're coming. So the Rams secondary was pretty bad because Rams got cooked, and I never said that before. I never said that.
No, you're right because Jalen got whooped on. Jamar Chase made him look bad for that first play. And I think the one thing that's being understated is the fact that Jalen Ramsey was literally holding on every single play, like
grabbing jerseys. He was just.
Man is like, he's a great cornerback, but the thing is, it's just like he gets away with so many missed calls that you're sitting there, you're just like, there's no way that they're not seeing this.
His strength is playing against a bigger type receiver. Those short fast when he struggled with. Chase no slouch. He's a rookie, but it was giving him the business. I thought I've said it on last podcast. I was like, man, Ramsey he's gonna shut him down. I was like, in the game, I was like, I'm guessing he knows words because Ramsey got cooked. I'm like, wow, I was expecting Chase to to show up in those bright lights, and he did. He showed up and showed out. They didn't win, but I still get kudos to him. Along with Burrow. I mean, Burrow still 7 sacks. He got sacked 9 times in the first game in the playoffs, and the guy still. Matter of fact, he's the most sacked quarterback in the playoff history.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, and the guy still came up uh, short. I mean, he was close. I mean, on fourth down and Aaron Donald. I mean, come on, you know who's coming. He was coming. The
Yeah.
whole world knew he was coming.
Yeah. You know what? If and the thing is, we talk all the time about Aaron Donald and what he does, and I mean the Bengals actually did a pretty decent job of containing him, but you can only do that but for so long. I mean, this is an O line that can't protect Joe Burrow against regular pass rushes, and then you're going against one of the best, if not the best. Well, no, the best pass rusher in the league. Let's just say it for what it is. You're going against the best pass rusher in the league, and then you're doing this with an O line that is basically made up of Care Bears without the belly power. Like they're just it was a terrible. It was everything that could possibly go wrong for that Bengals team because I mean it's tough. I like for me personally, I think if you go against a team, I mean, who did the Rams go against? I mean, well, then again, you know what? I can't
They
even say
went.
that
They went against
because
the division.
if you're looking at the last like the two teams outside of that, the Bucks were one of the teams. They had a great pass rush. And then the 49ers were the team that was in the NFC Championship, and they have a great pass rush.
Correct.
So I mean,
Oh,
what Zoe? What are you doing?
oh, yeah, man. I thought maybe I need to get out the set.
No. We're all good. I don't know what she's doing, but she's just over here. Don't worry, people. You see my hands are here. Please don't call Peter. She's okay. All right. But no. You go somewhere. You go somewhere. I don't know what that was, so you just relax somewhere. But yeah, so I mean, as far as that goes, I think it's a worst case scenario for a team that is on the up and up. I mean, it's a very young team, but at the same time, it's just like if it, and somebody posted it. I think it was one of y'all. It's just like if if they don't find a way to protect Joe Burrow, he's gonna be he's gonna be Andrew Luck from the 2019 season. He's
The
gonna
thing
like
was, we said this. We said this last week. We said if, like you said, if he don't get protected, if he don't, they don't protect him, or a scheme to protect Aaron Donald, it's going to be a long game. They did for the most part, but I mean, how long are you going to do that? How long are you going to do before he shows up? Von Miller showed up. Leonard Floyd showed up. I mean, every guy on that front line showed up in the right time. I mean, in third and fourth quarter, those guys got it going.
yeah. Yeah,
Seven,
absolutely.
7 sacks in the Super Bowl. I can't remember another quarterback that ever been sacked that many times. I can't remember.
I
I would have
can't
to,
either. It was bad. Like it's really bad. But I mean, the fact that they stayed in it with him being sacked that many times.
which is good. Yeah, which is really.
So yeah,
The
I mean,
thing is too is both of those teams has the same. They run the same offensive scheme, so both teams knew what they was running.
yeah.
So
I
there
mean,
was no leverage other than defense.
you just had somebody proven with having Joe Mixon on there, and I mean, you had who you had on there. Like you knew exactly what you were getting. So I mean, and then like I said, we're not going to talk too much about the Bengals because they lost, and it sucks.
he
But
said,
I mean,
he said they
they
lost.
they lost. I mean, it's a valiant effort, but so now it's just like now that you see what the Rams did, now we see that the Rams in the offseason, they traded for Matt Stafford, gave away what? I think it was 2 or 3 first round picks, gave away last year's first round pick. I think they gave
Two,
away a first round pick for this year or 2 first round picks, whatever it is.
I
However
think
it
two
is,
first and a third or something like that.
yeah, they're not picking in the first round for a while. Now, not only that, but the thing is, they also doubled down to where you go after Odell. Cam Akers gets hurt, you go after Sony Michelle. You know, Von Miller becomes available, and then you add him to the defense. The Rams were really aggressive in how they went about their acquisitions. And so when you see that and you see exactly what it led up to, because I mean the Rams, they went to the Super Bowl before, but I wouldn't say it's just like you could say that they went more on Gurley's legs than they did with anything else. I mean, Gurley was like literally their whole entire offense that year.
Yeah, he was really good, really good.
Yeah, but now you see that there's a bunch of different variables that's going into what it is that they're doing or what it is that got them to this point. So, I mean, did the Rams basically give, the other teams a format for success or like actually a blueprint for what you could potentially do to get to that level?
I think that they did something that a lot of fans want their teams to do. They went out and got the big name at the quarterback, the big name at wide receiver, a big name on defense. They went out and got those pieces and they worked together. So I think it it could work, but I don't think that always does work because you got to get the right people and they have to work together.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think you can say like somebody like Von Miller has a lot of versatility. Somebody like Odell, you can go after him, and like I said, to me, Odell's plug and play. It's
Right.
just like he's fast, he can catch the ball. I mean, it's just like this is somebody where you can just get him integrated, and then he can just go. So, if we're talking about this, and mind you, the Rams have continued to do this. The Rams did this when they went and got Jalen Ramsey. And I mean, contrary to how he looked in the Super Bowl, I mean, because you're going against Jamar Chase, who just, I mean, he's been a nightmare against most teams this year. But, you know, when you're going against this team and you're seeing exactly what this team has in these moving pieces, I don't expect to see a lot of these people there next season. But if you know that you're going to make a run, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't do something like that. Like I don't see why a team like Philly doesn't eventually, let's just say possibly go after like a Russell Wilson or go after an Aaron Rodgers. I
Right.
don't see why a team like Indy, for example, doesn't go after that because I mean we'll get more into that. I know you're wearing your Wentz jersey, so I'm not going to go too far into
And
detail on.
Wentz, I trust.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. All right. So then in the meantime, all right. And then well, real quick, we have Rick, good brother Rick. He says it was two first in golf. So yes, it was two first in golf that Matt
Okay.
Stafford was traded for. All right. J. Henry Roberts says, "What's up, Mark Holt's family? What's up, Josh?"
Was good.
It's, yeah. So as far as what we've seen, like as far as what we know when it comes to these teams, we know that a team like the Rams, they're not picking in the first round for a long time. They haven't picked in the first round for years, but they just won a Super Bowl.
Right.
So I mean, you sacrifice those picks in order to put yourself in a position to do that. And it's not a knock necessarily that I'm going to knock Ballard about, but the thing is, Chris Ballard is somebody who very rarely gives up those first round picks unless it's somebody proven. DeForest Buckner went for a first round draft pick when we had, I think, the 13th overall pick. Okay, fair. Carson Wentz was a trade for a conditional pick, depending on how many games he played in. And this year, he actually was able to play the whole entire season.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, I think it's a different type of formula. I think it's in certain things that you're going to have to do, but it really just depends on whether or not, teams are going to be willing to make that splash. Because, I mean, if a team doesn't necessarily make a move for a proven star, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's just like you saw exactly how how that can potentially change things.
Well, thing is too, like you said, like we all said, the Rams made that move because they were a quarterback away.
Yeah,
They lost Super Bowl, they lost the previous Super Bowl because bad quarterback play. So they made trades. They had Marcus Peters. They traded him to Baltimore. So they had good corners, and then they traded for Ramsey and gave up what a host of picks. And they when they got Miller, they went and got another receiver. So I mean, they were just one quarterback away to winning it all. Um, I wouldn't say. I mean, is that a blueprint for success? Um, I mean, if you're one quarterback away, I would do that. I mean, speaking on our team, I mean, we're getting to that when we're getting to that. But do you guys think that we are a quarterback away from going to making something happen?
I can only answer that after the offseason.
Okay.
I don't think it's just the quarterback. I think we need a little more, but we're close. I think we're close.
So, dream scenario: if for some reason, let's just say, we get aggressive in free agency, go after a Teron Armstead.
Hmm.
Let's just say, we get aggressive, we trade away a couple pieces, or not trade away a couple pieces, but trade away, some draft capital depending on what the Falcons are looking for Calvin Ridley.
Hmm.
If you then go out and then potentially get somebody like a Russell Wilson, then after those moves have been made, if you do that, then yes, you after if you make those two moves, you're officially a quarterback away. Because at that point, you then can rely on the draft to go ahead and shore up those things. Because I mean, based on the defense, based on what we do, we got Gus Bradley now. Gus Bradley is, to me, a very solid defensive coordinator. I'm going to say even better than Eberflus is, just based on his body of work with the defenses that he's been in.
Right.
So I think
Just
he's going to be able
experience.
to, exactly. He's going to be able to maximize those talents, maximize the talent that we have there. Kenny Moore is extremely talented. I think Rocky Sin had a great year. Isaiah Rogers has a great year. I don't expect what's the name, Xavier Rhodes to be back because I mean he can't stay on the field. And the thing is, when you can't stay on the field and you're 31, 32, and now you're looking for another contract, I don't think that that's going to be something that you could potentially you can say is going to be a good point. Like if you're going to do anything, you need to make sure that you're getting younger at these positions instead of just going after the veterans. Because I mean, we can go after veterans all we want, but the thing is, if you're a veteran with an injury history where in the last 2 years you haven't played two full seasons, then I mean, let's not let's not do that. Like let's not go that route. But I want to, and like I said, it's not here. But I really, really, really want to touch on this because this right here, this has been an argument that I've saw today, and it's insane. And I don't think we're going to spend too much time here. Just kind of get some reactions. Does this Super Bowl win make Matt Stafford a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, you got Hall of Famer numbers.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
yours.
I wouldn't say first ballot, but yeah, we can stick it in.
Okay.
See, like I wouldn't be upset if he made it, but I just don't know if this win necessarily puts him as a guaranteed Hall of Famer.
Okay.
If Tannehill going, he got to go.
Can we not do that?
Okay,
Can we
okay,
not
okay.
do that? Tannehill and Hall of Fame should not be mentioned in the same sentence unless Tannehill is watching from the audience.
I was just saying since he's elite talent, like
Stop it. Stop right now. Stop right now.
Okay, okay, okay.
Nope, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Don't you wish this evil on me, Ricky Bobby? But but so the thing is, it's been interesting because Matt Stafford has put up great numbers, and he's put up great numbers in in a franchise that has been less than stellar. I'm gonna say since its inception. So you know Stafford getting there. I'm gonna say I do need to see a little bit more. I feel like now you can possibly have him in that discussion, maybe even have a discussion for him being elite. I don't think that he just gets in the Hall of Fame just based on what we've seen. Because the thing is, we've seen that Matt Stafford, had the Hall of Famer Calvin Johnson, that he's had weapons, that he's had these guys on his team. And no matter what you want to say about the Lions, they Stafford has had opportunities, but we know that Stafford has done a lot of things that were less than ideal when he was there. I want to say it's just like show me another year where on this team because this Rams team is stacked. Personally, at least from what I feel.
If they keep the same team, he could bring back Odell, Robert Woods to come back from his injury. And you have Cup. You got three receivers. You're gonna have the tight end. I don't know what they do about running back, but I know Akers is there. So I mean, if they run it back with the same team, I think they can. Well, the
I
threat, over there in the NFC, Aaron Rodgers don't know up in the air. We don't know what Russ Wilson going to do. I mean, you got the Cowboys. I'm not saying that they won't. The Cowboys will be trash,
I'll say it. They won't. They won't.
but the competition, the Niners, you don't know because I mean, if Jimmy go, you got to trust in Trey Lance. So I mean, there's no other threat
Well,
for
you
the
know what?
Rams.
But the thing is, the NFC West is always tough. It doesn't matter who you put out there, and that's just because of the fact that I don't think it's tough because of the quarterback play. I think it's tough because of the defenses that you have coming out of there.
Correct.
Like even with Seattle, like their defense isn't the best, but they play those NFC West teams harder than they play anybody else, and I
You're
think
right.
that's a big thing. But like I think when like we've seen Matt Stafford's work over the years, even in the years when they went to the playoffs, he didn't have a playoff win. So the thing is, I'm just like, okay, if he would have had a playoff win on that Lions team, with as bad as we want to believe that it is, I think it would be very easy just to automatically say yes, 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 absolutely. But I mean, he's won a Super Bowl, and I think we're also skimming over the fact that he won a Super Bowl while the defense played against probably one of the softest lines ever.
True. It
Like I
was.
want to, like the thing is, I want to see it over time. It's kind of like how people are already saying Jamar Chase is top five. No,
Oh,
you need to give me another year. I want to see another year of it
give me a
because
couple
now
more years.
exactly. And the thing is, it's just like you can't automatically just go in there just based on what it is. Now, if you go with a team, let's just say, if you go in with a team that's Odellist from the very beginning, and you go and you win the way that you did, then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have to put some more respect on. It. But as of right now, it's just like I feel like he's making the case, but I just don't think it's there yet.
I mean, the thing is, I know you said and they have no playoff wins. Do they work? Do they focus on that playoff wins? Being that he was in Detroit, and the coaching staff that he had, and the team that he had one receiver, and what? I mean, it was a revolving door in Detroit. Yeah, he didn't win, but teams he played, um, the numbers was against him. I mean, going to one team, and you thought it was over even when Woods got hurt. I was like, okay, what's going to happen? Because it was still up in the air with Odell. I didn't think he would step up like that, but he did, and so they got high at the right time, all the way to winning the Super Bowl. So they keep the same team.
Yeah,
I say now he would. I wouldn't say first ballot, but he could be in next year if he does the same thing and gets to Super Bowl. He don't have to win it automatically. It should be that should be a stamp right there of approval.
yeah. I mean, and the thing is, like, if Aaron Rodgers retires, I think that makes Matt Stafford probably like the most experienced quarterback in the league. I think because of when he was drafted, because
Yes,
I
yeah,
think he was drafted in '09. I want to say '09.
man, you
Yeah,
got
he
me
was drafted
thinking.
in '09. So the thing is, he would be after Aaron Rodgers. So I mean, at that point, it's just like him winning the Super Bowl. It's just like, and I think as um Jerry said in the chat, he's just like, no doubt the Rams are the team to beat next year. The Rams won the Super Bowl, so the Rams absolutely are going to be the team to beat next year. But the thing is, it depends on what the complexion of the team looks like. Because I can tell you right now, I don't think that somebody like Von Miller is returning. I don't think that you can, even if they do bring Odell back, he's going to be out probably until like October, November. So I mean, at that point, it's just like you're pretty much just Cooper Cup and
Woods should
the
come back, huh?
you said what?
Robert Woods should come back because I think he got hurt.
Oh yeah, Robert Woods should be back. Yeah.
Yeah, he should be back.
So I mean,
Which
it's an
it
added
was pretty
dimension.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he looked pretty good, but either way. So then on the subject of quarterbacks, what teams do we see now? Being that the Rams went all in, got Stafford, and now they see what teams do you see being aggressive in their trades this offseason to get quarterbacks or to get these playmaker like things going? And I'll start with you, Austin, because I want to see. I have one that's a little bit different, but let's.
Obviously, I hope the Colts, but I'm gonna say the Broncos.
Ooh,
Um, like they're gonna be pretty aggressive and try to get their quarterback for this next season.
Mhm. Okay, okay. And so what do you think that trade looks like?
I don't really know.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of if if Aaron Rodgers leaves, it's probably going to be for Denver, and he's going to bring Devontae with him. But I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
well,
What?
it would be bad. I mean, because they just re-signed Sutton. They re-signed another receiver over there too, so it would be bad on their part to sign another receiver for 30 million, and I would have Jerry Judy, Sutton, and forgot the other guy. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Judy Sutton. I think it was Tim Patrick, Hamler.
yes, that's it. Yeah, so yeah, they got too many. I mean, they could do it, but they just re-signed those guys last year or during the season. So I doubt that they would spend another 30 million on a receiver. Um, it could happen though,
Yeah.
but it'd be tough.
Hmm. Okay. What about you, Josh? What do you think?
I said the Niners. I mean, they could have went to Super Bowl. They was, I mean, they could have went to Super Bowl. I mean, they could. I mean, Jimmy G, he could be traded somewhere. So they're gonna get picks for him. It's up in the air with Trey Lance. They could go get their quarterback. They could trade for Russell. They can trade for Aaron Rodgers. It
Hmm.
can't beat them, join them because he can't beat the
Yeah.
Niners. So join them, and they could be a player away. They can get Adams,
Yeah. Okay. I can see.
Adam
Okay.
and Debo and Aaron Rodgers. Oh man, that's scary with
Debo and Aaron Rodgers.
Mitchell,
Yeah.
huh?
Debo and Aaron Rodgers would be different because that's
Yeah,
that
man.
that's nasty.
I didn't want to
And
see it, but yeah,
you know what? I want to be, and I think this is also me kind of being a fanboy, but I want to see Russell Wilson in the Colts uniform. I want to see Russell Wilson in the
I'd
Colts
like
uniform,
that.
and
I'm not against it.
it's not necessarily a knock on Carson, but the thing is, I feel like we
Yeah, I
keep
better
on saying
respect it.
that we want. Okay, whatever. Sorry, but but no, but like Carson, we've seen Carson. We've seen what he's gonna do. We say, oh yeah, well we need to have this for Carson. We need to have this for Carson, and I get it. But at the same time, it's like we want him to play up to his potential. Frank Reich wants him to be the superstar that he knows that he is. That's fantastic at 21, 22. He's going on 30. And
Yeah,
to me, it's just like he has a lot of bad tendency. He has a lot of bad things about him that. And the thing is, I'm not knocking who Carson is as a person because I feel like it's just like he definitely had a great redemption story. But the thing is, I feel like he has a lot of bad habits that aren't changing, and he's not developing. And a lot of those bad habits that he had really, really showed up at the end of the season to the point where it's like we won games that people said we shouldn't have won, and then we lost games that we absolutely shouldn't have lost.
correct.
And to me, if we go and we decide that we're gonna stick with Carson, then what does that look like? Because I mean, we have pieces around him that regress. Naeem Hines had a stellar year under Philip Rivers. And the biggest difference between that and what Carson was doing was that Carson doesn't check down. Carson is looking downfield all the
Every
time, unless
every
it's
play.
designed to see if there's somebody down there that can just make a play and then that's it. We're not checking down into the flats. You're not checking down to look for Jonathan Taylor. If you get the ball to Jonathan Taylor in overtime against the Titans at home, he makes a play. He's a playmaker. He's going to
Right.
be able to make things shake in the open field, and he's by himself. But you're looking downfield into double coverage, and then you're saying, "Well, you know what? He's gonna catch it. I'm sure of it," and he does it. And to me, that's that's one of those things that you brought Reich brought him in to make sure that he coaches him out of those bad habits, and those bad habits are what caused this team. And I'm not going to say solely caused this team to not have to not get into the playoffs, but was a component of why this team didn't go any further than they did. As a matter of fact, regrets. We lost 2.5 games. We lost 2.5 games more, or however you say that, than we did the year before. We went 11-5 the year before, and technically, we lost two more games, or yeah, we lost two and a half more games to be completely out of the playoff race, and our loss allowed other people to get in.
Like Steelers.
Uh, And we
Yeah.
knew that they were going to get skunked. We knew that they weren't going to be crap in the wild card, but they got in.
They did. They did their job.
And you know what? And I mean, at the end of the day, and I think like somebody said, it's just like, we he said all he's hearing is the receivers is what held us back this year. He said Winston's liability. He said he do believe we're a quarterback away, but then he also said so. Sam Elger is no option. I mean, we just don't know.
We're
We
not a
won't.
quarterback. We're not a quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl. I don't care how many. I love the Colts. I've been a Colts fan since high school, middle school. Sorry. So I've been a Colts fan for a very long time, and I've never been a homer to say we're a quarterback away or we're this player away because there has always been more pieces that we need. The Colts back then won with no defense. We had the greatest quarterback. We had three receivers, tight end, running backs. We had everything on offense. Defense was okay. Matter of fact, we was bad. We was bad going into the playoffs, and had to
Yeah.
play Larry Johnson, play whoever the Ravens had. We kick all field goals, and then had to play the Patriots, and that was a shootout. So just yeah, we had Andrew Luck, so we wasn't a quarterback away. But we didn't make it because we didn't have enough weapons. We didn't have an offensive line. We didn't have a defense. Okay, we get Brissett for a year. That didn't work out because we had an okay defense, okay team, but still had one weapon. We still relying on Ty. And that's what we did for years. Relied on Ty. And now we got Pittman. Relied on Pittman for 1 year. So that's a struggle. Getting quarterback, you're still gonna have one receiver. You need more weapons. You need everything. Whether it be my boy Carson or it be Russell Wilson. You don't want Russell to come over here with less than he had over there in Seattle because he just going to a bad situation. He going into a lesser situation than he did. He going even in winning the Super Bowl. He had a lot of receivers. You can name the receivers he had. He even had Percy Harvin.
Uh, so the thing is, I'm kind of conflicted on that. And, I think this is something that we can probably talk more about once we know what the quarterback landscape is going to look like. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, you know, you can say that, yeah, he went with somebody like a Percy Harvin. Percy Harvin was good. But, I mean, would you say that he was top 10 in the league at that particular time?
No, I'm saying he had a lot of receivers. He had was it Bowen? Yeah, Doug Bowen. He had
So yeah, I mean, but the thing is, so for me personally, a lot of these guys that you're mentioning, or in terms of the wide receivers, the guys that you're mentioning isn't what I call like the household name. He
correct.
had guys, he had guys like Doug Baldwin, like a Jermaine Curse, like a
Yes,
Ricardo Lockett, and so, but the thing is, these guys weren't by any means. These weren't guys who were just scorching the earth. These were guys that were able to go ahead and just play and really just had a great chemistry, had a great scheme because, we knew that Russ was not only a good quarterback, but he was also able to extend plays. I
Correct.
mean, Doug Baldwin to me had that breakout potential, had that star potential. He, if I'm comparing Doug Baldwin to anybody, Doug Baldwin was very similar to what I feel as though is like what we see with Michael Pittman. Because the thing
Right.
is, we see Michael Pittman make a lot of plays when the plays are there. But the thing is, if we're overthrowing, underthrowing, if we're just throwing out of general areas, then he's not going to be able to make those plays. And I mean, I think if we see, because I think Zach Pascal's not coming back. Let's just be honest. T.Y. Hilton, I feel like he's going to retire. So the thing is, at this point, you're going to be looking to get more wide receivers. I don't know if the verdict is out on Paris Campbell yet, but I mean, we've had another season of him not play a whole entire season.
I said this was my receivers pickup. I said go get Allen Robinson, pay him 18 million a year, and sign a guy like Christian Kirk to be your slot because he's what 5'3", not, yeah, but not 5'3", he's about 5'11", and he can work in the middle. He can work the middle of the field. I don't care what
Yeah,
quarterback, but he'd be cheap. He'll be cheaper. Pay Allen Robinson as one or two or whatever, and no matter like I said, no matter what quarterback you have, because you need the weapons. You can
yeah,
see what Tennessee look like when they have weapons. You see what they look like when they don't have weapons,
yeah, yeah,
and we look like Tennessee without weapons.
yeah, yeah. Because we were able to run, but you know. So then that leads me to my question. Then we always say that this is going to be a short one, and here we are, 51 minutes in. So you know what? We'll go ahead. All right. So then, yes or no? Will Indy make a splash and trade for a QB, Austin?
Well, you got me hoping we get Russell, so I'm gonna have to say yes.
I'm sorry I sold you on the idea. Okay, my bad, my bad. All right. And then Josh, do we make a trade for a QB?
Should I have to answer that, or I mean, do I need
I
to?
think there's no question. Just answer the question.
You know what? To be realistic, if there's an upgrade, yes. If there's not, they keep the same quarterback.
Okay, yeah. So if it's Jimmy G, absolutely not. If it's Russell Wilson, yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
They're
And
not going for the same. Well, yeah, it wouldn't go. They wouldn't make a move and give all those picks. We did that already for Carson. I don't think they'll do that again.
okay, yeah, no, they definitely won't. I think you're looking at certain things, and you have a lot that you need to discuss, a lot that you need to look at regarding the quarterback situation. So, I mean, honestly, I think I'm gonna say I'm hoping that we do. Do we? Yeah, I think yeah. Because I mean, you have the opportunity to go ahead and just trade him away, and then just kind of rid yourself of that contract. And I think also you get somebody like a Russell Wilson, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to potentially lure free agents in. It
Yeah,
if you have a Russell Wilson at quarterback, Russell Wilson has a proven resume, 10 straight playoff runs, 10, and if you have Russell Wilson, that means that now you're looking at potentially having, some type of, collateral. It's gonna. I think that's more. That looks potentially better for a guy like an Allen Robinson who's going to be weighing his options.
correct.
I think that's going to give somebody like a Calvin Ridley the means to say, hey, can we split amicably? I would like to go to Indianapolis, and here we go. So the thing is
Okay.
now it's just like you see more people willing to do that. And the thing like you see what happened. Matt Stafford was traded to the Rams, and now that's a destination. Now the Rams are going to be in a tough cap based situation where they may not be able to retain everybody. But the thing is you already won a Super Bowl, so I mean at this point, somebody will potentially take a couple less million just to go there and see if they can run it back.
Okay, it is a big market.
Exactly, exactly. And the thing is, the cap went up, so now teams have more money to play with, and teams have more money to go with. So I think that's where we stand. But all right, well, the thing is now, I believe that we're all done for now, and so people, just want to let you know, this is not the end. But the thing is, this is kind of like the end of the season for right now. Not a whole lot of football news, but we're gonna go on a quick hiatus so we can get a breather. So that my wife lover doesn't give me those eyes when I tell her I'm recording tonight. Love you, baby. Okay, and so we're gonna go. We're gonna be on a quick hiatus. Gonna take about a month off. The next episode is gonna be on March 15th. So mark your calendar. Make sure you're doing all of that. In the meantime, make sure that you're following us. We're going to be tweeting up a bunch. Follow us on the You Don't Know Jack podcast page on Facebook, and then also, like I said, you can just connect with us through there. You can go on the at YDKJAC podcast page on Twitter. If you have any questions, have anything you just want to ask, you want to just follow, just tweet away while you're at work when you're not supposed to. That's completely fine. Go ahead and do all that. All right. And so yeah. And then like I said, make sure that you're following the at YDKJAC basketball because we're actually gonna be doing some analysis coming up leading up to playoffs. Whenever baseball gets its act together, you'll see some content from there. But yeah, and I'm still on the search for a basketball team that's not the Lakers or the Kings. So
Explain it. Explain the Kings trade for me.
no, no, I'm not. No, it was a whole bunch of it was a whole this is a family podcast. It was a whole bunch of BS. Okay, so I'm not gonna talk about it. You're not gonna no, you're not gonna irritate me. Okay, I'm gonna go eat. Okay, I made foil packets for dinner. I don't know if you know
Okay,
what that is. You
I
you
do
know what
not.
foil packets are.
I've never heard of that. I know you're older than me, right?
Think of seafood. Well, I'm older than you by like 2 months. I got 2 months on you. Okay. Well, your birthday's in what, December?
Yeah,
Okay, so the difference between us was that your parents just made it happen on a snow day.
yeah,
I mean,
but
it's just I don't want to
you
hear
got
all
through
that.
through 2 months is more experience. It's
Listen,
a lot of experience. You
don't,
was
don't
doing.
hit don't hit me with your Laker logic, okay? I don't want to hear that nonsense. All right, let's just not. All right, but yeah. So make sure that you are following the AC South fan battle, the Texas fan battle. I believe they're going to be going on hiatus for a little while, but you can actually follow them. They're actually going to be broadcasting tomorrow or Thursday. So yes, make sure that you're following them. Also, how can the people connect with you outside of the You Don't Know Jack podcast pages?
um, on Instagram and on Twitter with the same handler. I am Josh Senior. I do share contents in the Horseshoe Mob Coast group on Twitter as well and on Facebook.
All right, fantastic. And what about you, Austin?
And my Instagram is Austin_cook2, and Twitter is at CookieAustin2.
It'll never not be great. It'll never not be great. But yeah, and then also make sure um with all your picks, there's actually an app, Prize Picks. You can go ahead and do your over unders. You can bet on individual players. If you use the code FBSN, short for Fan Battle Sports Network, which you should also be following on Twitter and Facebook. If you type in FBSN for the promo code, then what you'll do is they'll actually match you 100%. You bet $5, they'll put in $5 with you. You bet 10, they put 10, all the way up to $100. So yes, make sure that you're doing that. But other than that, people, it's been great seeing you. We will be back here in a month. So yeah, and then also be looking out for the podcast dropping soon. Have some things to fix with that, but when it does, you'll get all of our content all at one time, and it's amazing. Okay, just download it. Okay, make sure you get the shares going, and yeah. So other than that, people, have a good one. There's no major holidays coming up that I can think of. Enjoy the rest of Black History Month. Okay, and whatever month I think, what is St. Patrick's Day during the hiatus, or is that after?
Oh man, I don't know. Let me look.
Or
I
President's
don't.
Day? Listen, all those days, enjoy them. All right, fantastic. All right, you guys have a great rest of your night, and we will see you in a month.
Yes.